Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Sarah Hamilton and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. Israel's military is targeting the Iranian police state that brutally suppressed protests and killed thousands of people, with the hope of encouraging a popular revolt to overthrow the Islamic government. Israeli airstrikes have targeted people responsible for internal security, from members of the besieged paramilitary force to senior intelligence officials. The Israeli military said. The U.S. has also hit some domestic security agencies, including the Tehran headquarters of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the group responsible for defending and continuing the regime. The Revolutionary Guard and besieged militants were the main perpetrators of the bloody crackdown against anti-government protesters in January. They opened fire on crowds, killing thousands. Israeli officials have made it clear they are looking to do enough damage to Iran's police state from the air that the people can take over on the ground. While Israel has long been content to weaken Tehran with military action or covert operations, Israeli officials have concluded they now must push for regime change. Ecuador has become the latest front in Washington's expanded campaign against Latin American drug traffickers, launching a joint military operation this week against some of the most violent gangs in the small Andean country. On Tuesday, Ecuadorian and U.S. military forces carried out an operation against U.S.-designated foreign terrorist organizations in Ecuador. The Miami-based U.S. Southern Command said on X the Trump administration had previously identified those gangs as Los Choneros and Los Lobos. Together, we are taking decisive action to confront narco-terrorists who have long inflicted terror, violence, and corruption on citizens throughout the hemisphere, said the Southern Command, the Pentagon's arm for Latin America, without providing more details. The operation came as the Trump administration had made fighting drug traffickers in Latin America central to its foreign policy. Spain's prime minister reiterated his opposition to the war in Iran after President Trump said he would halt trade with the country for barring U.S. access to its bases as part of its military operation. In a public address Wednesday, Pedro Sanchez criticized the Iranian regime, but said the conflict wouldn't lead to a fairer international order and that the goals of the U.S. aren't clear. Sanchez warned that the war could become a long conflict with a significant impact on the economy. President Trump threatened to stop trade with Spain after Madrid said it wouldn't allow the U.S. access to its bases as part of the Iran strikes. It isn't clear how the U.S. could apply trade restrictions on one European Union country. The 27-nation economic bloc allows goods to move freely across borders. Its members share a common trade policy. President Donald Trump on Thursday fired his Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem, after mounting criticism over her leadership of the department, including the handling of the administration's immigration crackdown and disaster response. Trump, who said he would nominate Oklahoma Republican Senator Mark Wayne Mullen in her place, made the announcement on social media. Noem is the first cabinet secretary to leave during Trump's second term. Her tenure looked increasingly short-lived after hearings in Congress this week where she faced rare but blistering criticism from Republican lawmakers. One particular point of scrutiny was a $220 million ad campaign featuring Noem that encouraged people in the country illegally to leave voluntarily. Ford Motor Company has announced a major recall of approximately 4.4 million vehicles, including its popular F-Series pickup trucks and SUVs, due to a software glitch that could increase the risk of collisions. The recall, one of the largest by a single manufacturer in recent years, affects vehicles from the 2021 to 2026 model years, including the F-150, Expedition, Ranger, Maverick, E-Transit, and Lincoln Navigator. The issue involves a software error in the trailer control module, which may cause taillights and turn signals on trailers to malfunction. This can lead to a loss of communication with the vehicle, potentially affecting the trailer's braking function and making it less visible to other drivers. Although no accidents or injuries have been reported, the company is taking proactive measures to address the issue. Ford plans to release an over-the-air software update starting March 17th. Vehicle owners can also visit Ford or Lincoln dealerships for a free repair. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more after the break.
I'm Mayor Erin Joyce, and I'd like to tell you about some important projects we're working on here in Braintree to improve the quality of our local water bodies and to protect our town from the dangers of flooding and stormwater runoff. Stormwater runoff is the water generated from rain and snowmelt that flows over hard surfaces and does not soak into the ground. Stormwater runs through a system of pipes in the street and into our local water bodies, such as the Cochado River, Farm River, Manatequit River, and Sunset Lake. In Braintree, we have a separate sewer system. So what does that mean? That means that there are actually two separate pipes in most streets that carry stormwater and sanitary sewer separately. So when it rains and water washes into our catch basin system, it ties into the stormwater system, which transports water to our water bodies. Over the past 5 years, the town of Braintree has been working hard to maintain and improve our stormwater drainage systems. Now, we're constructing retrofits to the drainage system. These drainage retrofits use the natural process of infiltration to improve water quality and reduce potential flooding in our neighborhoods. At Penniman Park Elder Affairs, we're constructing a bioretention basin behind the building. What that is right before the water, which today runs piped to the Manatequit River. This project intercepts that pipe before it goes and discharges into the river. And it creates a place for the water to go first, which is the bioretention basin. And in that basin, plants and engineered soils will filter the water so that that water that's coming off of the neighborhood right now, unfiltered, untreated, will be collected into a rain garden, and that provides a lot of pollution control before the water ultimately makes it to the Manatequit River.
I'm Rachel Horak. I live here in Braintree, and I'm the president of Sustainable Braintree. We think of ways that we can help our residents of Braintree live healthier lives that are in better harmony with our planet. And we want to be sure that our waterways are clean so that our residents can enjoy them both for recreation and for beauty purposes. The bioretention basin will filter out the bad bacteria out of the stormwater before it hits the Manatequit River. We add native plants that help filter out the pollutants so that the water is a little bit cleaner. Some of the ways that residents can help are reduce the amount of fertilizers that you use on your lawn, picking up pet waste, reducing the amount of garbage in our streets, and also raking the catch basins that you might see on the roadways.
To pay for these projects, we're leveraging grants from the Mass DEP, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, and the Metropolitan Area Planning Council. As a Braintree resident, you should know that the town is actively working on projects that help improve the water quality in our water bodies. With your help and these projects, we will help filter pollution and keep Braintree's rivers, lakes, and streams beautiful for years to come.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Sarah Hamilton. Now we'll be getting into more stories. On Tuesday night, the Braintree Town Council met in the Johnson Chamber in Town Hall. Mayor Joyce appeared before the council to introduce two new town employees. Here's more from Mayor Joyce, the new Facilities Director Jacqueline Gould, and the new Economic Development Director Catherine Rollins.
Yeah, I am pleased to be here tonight. I guess in a less formal, these sort of new hires don't necessarily have to come forward through a formal appointment by the council. They're not department directors, but we did have recently joining us, our team, a new facilities director taking on the role that was previously filled by Mike McGurty, and that is Jacqueline Gould, who's in the audience. And I'll introduce both of them, and then they can, Jacqueline maybe first can come up, introduce herself, and if there's any questions. So Jacqueline started a couple weeks ago, got through her first big snowstorm, and is, jumping right in as all sort of signs point to a great start, and we're really excited to have her as part of our team. And we also have joining us in as our new economic development director, Catherine Rollins. Catherine brings a very incredible professional background in economic development, both on the public side. She had worked in other communities on the North Shore, so I guess maybe that's north versus south of Boston is always a thing, but I'm very excited for her experience there, but also most recently at the Urban Land Institute in Boston. So a really great, I think, background in both the public and private sector of economic development, and I'm really excited for her to hit the ground running, and she has. So I think with that, I'd love to invite Jacqueline up and then Catherine to share a little bit about themselves and take any questions that you might have. So thank you.
So Jacqueline Gould, new Director of Facilities. I grew up in Hingham, so kind of local to the South Shore area, but spent most of my career down in Maryland. So I was in procurement and contracting with the community college down there for about 5 years, and then transitioned into facilities with the National Fitness brand, overseeing the expansion from 80 locations, kind of on the East Coast, to 175 nationwide. All facilities maintenance, operations, and a little bit of construction and warranty. So that's kind of where my, private side background is with facilities, but super excited to be part of the town now and bring some of that background here.
Good evening, councillors. Thank you for having me. I'm Catherine Rollins, the new Economic Development Director. I am on week 6. I did grow up in New Bedford, and I live in Foxborough, so I'm on the right side of Boston now, and very happy to be. But just a little bit about my professional background. On the municipal side, I worked for the City of Everett. I was Deputy Chief of Staff and Director of Policy, and also served as the project manager on the city side for Encore Boston Harbor, which was a $2.6 billion development, largest single-phase privately funded development in the state's history. We believe it was also the most heavily studied, permitted, and regulated, although that's sort of our anecdotal sense. But so I certainly have some solid experience with large-scale, complex projects involving many stakeholders and regulatory bodies. Prior to that, I worked for the Massachusetts Municipal Association under Jeff Beckwith's leadership. I was with the legislative team working on economic development, housing, land use, taxation, casino gaming, and substance misuse disorders at the time. So really fascinating perspective across all 351 cities and towns in the Commonwealth and their needs. Prior to that, I was with the City of New Bedford. I was Director of Policy and Intergovernmental Relations. This was during the recession of 2008, where our entire focus was on economic development and revitalization, really working to bring state resources and private sector investment into the city, and really, not taking no for an answer in terms of what people could potentially deliver. On the private side, as the mayor mentioned, I worked for the Urban Land Institute most recently. I was director for ULI Boston, New England. ULI is a global research and education organization for folks in the land use and commercial real estate sectors. It's member-led, so it's folks like developers, investors, architects, engineers, academics, public officials, everyone who is interested in best practices in the built environment. In addition, prior to that, I worked for the Rhode Island Commerce Corporation, directing operations, which is roughly the Rhode Island equivalent of Mass Development and the Office of Economic Development. So I am so happy to be here. I hope to get to know you and tap into your expertise, and I really look forward to helping to bring out the potential that is so obviously here.
To watch the Braintree Town Council meeting and a rebroadcast of the school committee meeting, tune in to BCAM TV Government Channel, Channel 8 on Comcast and Channel 26 on Verizon, and check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/bcamtv. A local animal rescue is inviting the community to help support cats in need. The Neponset Valley Humane Society will host its annual Cat-Tillion fundraiser on Friday, April 11th in Braintree. The dinner and dance event raises money to help care for rescued cats throughout the Neponset Valley. The organization operates without a physical shelter, relying instead on volunteer foster homes to care for animals until they are adopted. Organizers say the fundraiser helps cover medical care, food, and supplies for cats waiting for permanent homes. The event will take place at the Sons of Italy Lodge and will include dinner, live music from the Reminiscence, raffles, and other activities. Tickets and more information are available on the Neponset Valley Humane Society website. They may be cute and cuddly, but therapy dogs perform sometimes life-saving missions. And now a firefighter is trying to bring canine help to first responders in Braintree and beyond. Andrew Leanweaver has launched a crowdsourcing campaign to pay for the fire department's adoption and training of a therapy dog named Hallie Halligan, according to a social media post. Leanweaver, a 20-plus year veteran of the department, hopes to harness Hallie in a program of free support for emergency responders. In a GoFundMe organized by Leanweaver, he wrote, "This dog will serve as a resource for all first responders and public servants in Braintree and the surrounding communities. The fire department is supporting the therapy dog program, but all training and ongoing care will be funded exclusively through donations. The independent effort has set a goal of raising $7,000 and on Wednesday afternoon had surpassed the halfway mark. Braintree police are asking for the public's help in locating a missing 14-year-old girl. Xiomara Rice was reported missing on February 23rd. Police say she was last seen wearing all black clothing and black and blue Air Jordan sneakers. She is described as 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing approximately 170 pounds, with reddish-brown hair. Police say she is known to frequent the Hyde Park area, and anyone with information is asked to contact the Braintree Police Department at 781-794-8600. Here's a look at what's happening around Braintree. At their public library on Saturday, March 7th at 10 a.m., St. Patrick's Day themed storytime for children will be held in the children's room, where there will be books and songs with Miss Elizabeth. Also on March 7th at 11 a.m. in the Logan Auditorium, youth mental health and first aid training will take place. To register or for more information, visit the library's website at theirpubliclibrary.libcal.com. The Braintree Recreation Department is offering a Central Rock Gym climbing clinic now through March 25th. In addition, Super Soccer Stars is also hosting youth soccer sessions now through March 28th at the Liberty Elementary School gym, focusing on skill building and teamwork in a fun, supportive environment. For more information, call the Recreation Department at 781-794-8900. And that's your weekly snapshot. Thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll be right back with more stories in the area.
Hi, I'm State Representative Bruce Ayers, and I'd like to introduce you to the Helping Hand program. With rising healthcare costs, all too often we hear stories about our seniors, veterans, and neighbors who may not have the proper insurance coverage they need for durable medical equipment. These individuals may be living on a fixed income and may not have the financial resources necessary to cover the cost of the equipment they need. We have a solution. The Helping Hand program provides free, durable medical equipment to residents in need. Items such as wheelchairs, walkers, crutches, canes, commodes, tub seats, and hospital beds are available through the program. We receive donations of lightly used equipment and store them at our facility in North Quincy. If you're in need of any of these items, you can pick them up free of charge and return them after any length of time.
My scooters improve my mobility and independence. Thanks to Helping Hand, I can go to the store, visit the boardwalk, and do so much more.
Helping Hand is a great resource for people who don't have insurance coverage.
The Helping Hand program is successful thanks to the generosity of people who have donated durable medical equipment to our inventory. For more information about the program or to fill out an equipment request form, visit our website or call 617-472-9877. If you know someone in need of these items, we're always available to lend a helping hand.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now let's get right into more stories. A South Shore woman says she and her son are stranded in the Middle East as tensions continue to escalate in the region. Stacy Shoework of Hingham says she had been sheltering in a hotel in Doha, Qatar, with her son while trying to find a way home. The U.S. Department of State says it is working to arrange charter flights for Americans who want to leave the Middle East, but Shoework says she has received little guidance and that commercial flights out of the region remain unavailable. Officials say more than 1,500 Americans have asked for help leaving the region. Massachusetts Congressman Seth Moulton has criticized the federal response, saying many Americans are still waiting for a clear evacuation plan. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says evacuations may take time because the United States does not control the region's airspace. A man in his 80s and his dog died early Tuesday in a fire at a home in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Firefighters were called at 3 a.m. to the home at 39 Granite Street after a Foxborough police officer smelled smoke in the area while on patrol. Flames were shooting from the roof of the single-family home when crews arrived. 81-year-old George Schubert, the sole resident, was pronounced dead at the scene. His dog also perished in the fire. Foxborough Fire Department Chief Michael Kelleher said in a statement, "This winter has been especially challenging for Massachusetts firefighters. Notwithstanding the bitter cold and heavy snow, they've confronted fatal fires in every region of the state. In too many cases, they found smoke alarms that weren't working or no alarms at all. Please take a few minutes to be sure you and your loved ones are protected by working smoke alarms on every level of your home." End quote. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. A Massachusetts man was found guilty Tuesday in the killing of a college student from nearly 4 decades ago. An Essex County jury convicted 66-year-old John Carey of first-degree murder in the 1986 death of Claire Gravel, a 20-year-old Salem State College student from North Andover. Gravel was found strangled in a wooded area along Route 128 in Beverly after leaving a Salem pub with friends. Investigators pursued the case for decades, interviewing witnesses and following new leads. Evidence recovered from Gravel's clothing and a tip in 2012 eventually led to Carey. Carey was indicted in 2022 while already serving a 20-year sentence at MCI Concord for attempting to strangle another woman. He is scheduled to be sentenced on March 26. The 23rd season of Top Chef premieres this month on Bravo. Among the star contestants competing for hundreds of thousands of dollars and culinary glory is Lawrence Louie, the owner of Roboto in North Quincy. Raised in Brookline, Louie is no stranger to the limelight. Since opening Roboto in 2022, he has received major awards and nominations, and he also emerged victorious on the popular cooking show Chopped, where he won $10,000. Louie's restaurant Roboto is a Hong Kong-style cafe that serves fluffy steamed buns with assorted fillings. In 2023, Roboto made Bon Appetit's exclusive Best New Restaurants list, one of 22 restaurants nationwide to earn the honor. To watch Louie in Top Chef Season 23, tune into Bravo TV, where the show premieres Monday, March 9th at 9 p.m. The next Democratic nominee for president could be crowned at TD Garden. Over 2 years in advance of the 2028 presidential election, the Democratic National Committee is deciding where they will hold their nominating convention. On March 2nd, they announced that Boston is one of 5 cities to advance in the application process to host the 2028 Democratic National Convention. The other 4 cities being considered are Atlanta, Chicago, Denver, and Philadelphia. Next, the DNC officials will visit each of the 5 cities to assess their logistical and operational plan. If Boston is chosen, the 2028 Democratic National Convention would be held in TD Garden, home of the Boston Celtics. In a press release, the DNC said it's important to select a city that shares Democratic values and that they will consider the importance of forging a strong partnership between the DNC and the host city. Thank you for tuning in to Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more on entertainment.
Hi, I'm Tom Lyons, a retired captain from the Quincy Fire Department and the author of the book Fighting Fire, A Proactive Approach. Let's talk portable electric space heater safety. These heaters must not be left unattended. Place them on a stable base 3 feet from combustibles. Their use is not recommended within a bedroom, but if you must do so, place a smoke detector on the ceiling within the bedroom. Plug a portable space heater directly into the outlet, avoiding extension cords. Thus, do not use lamp cords or power strips for this purpose. Are portable, unvented propane and oil-filled heating appliances safe to use within a residence? No. Massachusetts prohibits their use. These heaters produce asphyxiant gases. These gases can render an occupant incapacitated or dead. Please consider your safety during these upcoming colder months. Thank you for doing so.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now, here's some new movies and shows that have been creating some social buzz. First, The Bride takes place in 1930 Chicago and follows Frankenstein's monster, who asks Dr. Euphronius to help create him a companion. They reinvigorate a murdered woman, creating the bride, whose existence sparks a chaotic Bonnie and Clyde-style romance, which attracts police attention and ignites a radical social movement. The film stars Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale. You can watch The Bride now in theaters. Up next, Hoppers follows 19-year-old animal lover Mabel, who uses experimental technology to transfer her consciousness into a robotic beaver. To save her local habitat from a greedy mayor's freeway project, Mabel inhabits the bot, befriends a beaver, and rallies the animal kingdom. The film stars Piper Curda as the voice of Mabel. You can watch Hoppers now in theaters. Finally, War Machine takes place during a grueling Army Ranger training mission and follows a combat engineer who must lead his unit in a fight against a giant, otherworldly killing machine. The film stars Alan Ritchson and Dennis Quaid. You can watch War Machine now on Netflix. That'll do it for news today. Don't forget, Verizon customers can watch BCAM TV in high definition on channel 2128 and Comcast on channel 1073. I'm Sarah Hamilton, and thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll see you next time.